So, today we're diving into the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, but I want you to forget everything you think you know about some dusty ancient text. We're going to look at this a little differently. Think of it more like a dragon's guide to the soul, a map to some serious treasure, and that treasure, it's hidden right inside you. And our guide for this journey, this metaphorical dragon, gives us our starting point right here with this quote. It's basically saying, hey, don't just ask what's in this book, ask what it wakes up inside of you. See, this isn't about just absorbing information. This text is meant to be an experience. It's a catalyst for some real personal change. So, an experience, right? But what kind? Well, picture this, a furnace for the soul, a crucible. The text is almost like a ritual disguised as a book. Each verse works like a mantra, and every chapter, well, that's a new doorway. The whole thing is designed to spark a kind of alchemical transformation deep within you. Now, the person who put this amazing map together was the sage Swadharma. But here's the thing you have to understand. He didn't invent this stuff. He wasn't creating some brand new system. He was much more like a cartographer, a map maker. He was simply drawing a map of a spiritual terrain that mystics had already been exploring for generations. He was just charting a well-trodden path for the rest of us. And where does this path even begin? Well, it starts in a place that might actually surprise you, right here, in the physical body. You know, so many philosophies just leap straight into the abstract, the metaphysical. Not this one. This guide is intensely practical. It practically shouts that the journey inward has to start with the one tangible vessel you inhabit. The text sees the body in three really powerful ways. First, it's your temple, a sacred space. It's also your chariot, the actual vehicle for the journey. And yeah, it's your battlefield too, the place where you confront your own limitations head on. The message is crystal clear. The really deep work can only begin after the body has been prepared and purified. This brings us to a really key distinction, a fork in the road, you could say. On one hand, you've got the shortcut seeker. You know the type, right? Wants instant enlightenment, leaps right into meditation, totally ignores the body. But then there's the brave seeker. This is the person who understands they have to learn to sit first, to still the body, to harness their own breath. And Swadharma's guide, well, it's written for that second person, the one who's willing to do the work. And that, right there, is the very heart of this path. It's for the embodied mystic, the grounded seeker. It's for the person who isn't looking for salvation somewhere up in the sky, but is brave enough to search for it within their own bones, their own breath, and their own being. So how is this map actually structured? It's incredibly direct, no messing around. The text is laid out as a really clear 4-chapter guide. It's designed to lead you step by step from the external world to the internal one, from the gross to the subtle. The path progresses so logically, it just makes sense. You start with asanas, the physical forms. Then you move on to pranayama, which is all about breath control. From there, it's mudras. These are like secret seals to direct your energy. And all of this leads to the final goal, samadhi, or ultimate union. It's a direct, progressive journey. And you know, what makes this text really stand out is just how focused it is. For example, there's a later text, the Duranda Simhada, and it details a 7-limbed path. But the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it's way more streamlined. It's like a direct map to the treasure, and it deliberately avoids all the scenic routes or detours. It's the express train. Okay, now we get to what is, for me, one of the most fascinating parts of this entire text. It acts like a dragon's hoard. It gathers up everything of value and, get this, even truths that seem to totally contradict each other. The goal isn't to create one single perfect doctrine. It's about building an honest and complete archive of wisdom. Which, of course, brings up a central puzzle, doesn't it? How can a spiritual guide present ideas that completely conflict with each other? How can both be true? But see, that's the unique strength of this text. It asks us to hold these apparent conflicts, to sit with them, and to find the value in both paths. For instance, the text presents 2 different paths to immortality right next to each other. One path is about preserving something called bindu, a vital life essence. The other path, it's about awakening kundalini, that coiled serpent of spiritual energy at the base of the spine. Swadharma doesn't pick a winner. He doesn't say, this one's right, that one's wrong. He just presents both, valuing each as a legitimate part of the tradition. And that, believe it or not, brings this whole conversation right back around to you. The text is basically inviting us on what we're going to call the dragon trial, a chance for some personal reflection to connect these ancient ideas to our own lives, right here and right now. So, first question for you. What wisdom do you hold in your own personal hoard? What's that one piece of knowledge, one skill, maybe one memory that you treasure above everything else? Something that has genuinely shaped who you are today. And now for the final step. Take that piece of wisdom and trace it back. Where did it come from? Who taught it to you? Who was your sage? See, just as Svatmarama honored the mystics who came before him, this is a chance to acknowledge your own lineage. Because a treasure's true worth is only really known when you understand its origin. Because in the end, the Hatha Yoga Pradipika isn't some passive document. It's an invitation to a dynamic, living, transformative practice. It's not something you just read, it's something you do. As our guide would say, it is a dragon to be ridden. The map is now in your hands. So what are you going to do with it?